So when I looked at the Studio Series Ironhide, I touched on my comments and thoughts about the Wave 3 Deluxes for the Studio Series line, and I didn't think for a second I would get a chance to look at any of them. Well, thanks to friend of the channel Wayne, I'm going to have a chance to look at this guy, who Starscream fiance affectionately calls either Pylon or Caution Cone. She kind of really likes the name Caution Cone, because he's orange. Nevertheless, officially, this is the minion of Lockdown known as Shadow Raider, and he's gonna be our focus in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stick around, have some fun with us. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers, Collectors, NL, and me everywhere. And this is Shadow Raider, though I must admit, I can see Starscream fiance's point in calling him either Pylon or Caution Cone, or Safety Cone, I guess, because he kind of looks like the color of one of those road construction cones, and like, is he really going to sort of strike from the shadows, raid you from the shadows? He's orange. He's gonna stick out like a sore thumb, even in the shadows. This does not look like it's cool. It's a great use of this mold, but it does not look like the Shadow Raiders from the Age of Extinction movie with their kind of red mono eye face and their green detail light up chest, I suppose. And they certainly didn't have Decepticon logos like this guy tends to have. Why? I don't know. If their minions are Lockdown, and Lockdown's not really a Decepticon, why would his minions have Decepticon logos? I don't know. Anyway, I've already given some thoughts on this. We're gonna see if he's better than I thought, or not quite as good as I thought. Let's head over to the table and take a closer look at him. So like I said, thanks to good friend of the channel Wayne, I get a chance to look at Pylon here. Or, it's Caution Cone, I'm sorry. Shadow Raider, it's Shadow Raider. Curse you, Starscream fiance. Nevertheless, I get why she calls him that. I'm starting him out in vehicle mode here. Look, I don't have accessories or package or any of the extra paraphernalia that came with this guy because, believe it or not, it was found while thrifting. I don't know how this guy ended up as a donation this soon after release, but he did nevertheless. Because I've already looked at Lockdown in episode 412, and I looked at the conversion going from how he comes in a package, being robot to vehicle, I thought that I would do the reverse this time and have vehicle going to robot. And I've already sort of discussed Shadow Raider a little bit when I looked at Ironhide in episode 458. And I said there that, hey, obviously he's similar to Lockdown, and I figure a lot of people would like to use the head that came on this guy because it looks like the masked battle head thing. And I said that I liked the paint apps. They weren't like the stock photos, or at least what's on the back of the package, but I like the orange because it's not a color that kind of gets overused, and I thought it looked good. Since then, I have sort of done some research on Shadow Raider, even though I still don't think that this guy's going to raid anything out of the shadows because he looks like the sun. But the coloring's not right. We'll talk about that in a bit. I'm not going to give him any scores until we get him converted, and in this mode he rolls tremendously well. I really wish that the accessory was here because I do like the accessory that comes with him. Nevertheless, he rolls tremendously well. The orange and black looks great. The black that's on him seems gloss on the doors, matte up here. I feel like a lot of it's probably either clear plastic or black plastic with orange paint. A lot of this seems like it's orange paint to me anyway. So we're going to do the conversion very first thing, and it is a little rough. Here's the thing. When I did robot to vehicle with Lockdown, I even noted there how dealing with his arms is a pain. And it is. But it's more challenging to get the conversion started here to go back to robot mode. It is solid as a tack in this form. It is solid. But that's a little bit of a problem when it comes to actually having to convert the guy and get something started here. After adjusting things here slightly, let's get down to business, and perhaps the best way to begin is in here by the windows and the doors. Now, that being said, while it's probably the best way to begin, it's not necessarily the easiest, because you kind of need to flex the arm past this panel here, and I find that personally a little bit uncomfortable, but nevertheless, that's what we'll do. So you can kind of put a fingernail or something in by the window here to sort of loosen the arm up a little bit. And once you have it loosened, you can hopefully flex it out a bit. There, like that. And in doing so, you can sort of separate the shoulder. And you do the same thing, of course, on the other side. Take it, flex it out, bring the shoulder down. And that's kind of the arms right now. So you can take these, rotate them, separate the little notch down right here on the door, turn that around on the ball joint, and bring that piece around on the bicep. Of course, same on the other side. You rotate a section around, bring that piece on the ball, on the bicep around. Use the ball joint at the, or the ball socket at the elbow to turn the forearm around. And there's a fair portion of them actually done. The rest of it is pretty easy from this point onward. We can next pick this section off the back, and in doing so we separate these little side panels. We can fold these side panels in and bring it all the way up over the back. After bringing that up over the back, we can kind of lift this back piece off, and we have the head inside here with its little green face, so we need to sort of pick that out and fold it up. Thusly, we reach inside, and I forgot this step when I did the conversion for lockdown, but you reach inside here and just using your thumb or finger, push the chest out. Of course, the chest is in vehicle mode, push it out. And then this whole kind of hood section here is really on 2 hinges. So angle it in, bring it down flat, and just bring up the entire backpack piece. You can then separate the legs, swivel both of them at the thigh, straighten out the feet, and at this point, boom, here you have, in robot mode, the Shadow Raider. And in fact, here's the Shadow Raider next to Lockdown. Okay, so the paint apps that I gave Lockdown were an 8. Originally, I said that for the Shadow Raider here, it's like a 9. I think it's great, and I love the kind of masked head sculpt. We'll look at that closer. But here's the thing. It's actually more like a 7, because it shouldn't have a Decepticon symbol. The chest should have a bunch of like green detailing on it, and where the green masked face is really should be red. If you happen to know the character of the Shadow Raider, this wouldn't put you in the mind of it. Of course, you could be like me and think to yourself, I don't remember that character. Did Lockdown even have minions other than those Steeljaw things? I don't know. I don't remember, man. I do not remember. Sure, we'll call this the Shadow Raider. I thought he was made up. What do I know? So, for liking it, the paint apps are 9. For accuracy, like I said, I'm 7. Actually, truth is, they're probably more like 5. But I'll say 7 because I'm a nice guy like that. And because, undeniably, that face sculpt is really kind of cool, the effect that you get. Do not tell me that that doesn't look ominous and cool all at the same time. It does, I know it, and you know it as well. So we're saying a 7, and the conversion actually went nicer today than I expected it to. The conversion with Lockdown, I said, was a 7.75. I'm going to say the same thing here, 7.75, because it's solid in vehicle mode and it's pretty solid in robot mode. It's just dealing with those arms is a bit of a pain because you do have to flex plastic a little bit to get it all to fit. It's not smooth the way pieces of plastic kind of rub past each other. So we have a 7 and a 7.75. What about the articulation? For Lockdown, the articulation was a 7. For this guy, it's the same thing. The head, it can kind of go up and down, left and right a bit, but it's sort of limited because there's a lot of junk around the neck. I said the same thing for Lockdown. The arm, it can go, forward and back. Out to the side is a little more limited than I'd like. It's a bit unfortunate. I wish that they could go out further. We do have a bicep swivel. We do have another swivel down here, like it's kind of a bicep swivel up here, but then we have a swivel at the elbow because it's a ball joint. What else do we have? We have a waist. It's sort of limited, but it's there. Sort of limited by the backpack if you don't get it out of the way. Out to the side, that far, it's all right. Not super duper, but all right. Forward is pretty great. Back is kind of limited, but it's good enough. How far back do you need it to go? We do have a fairly tight thigh swivel. That's pretty good. Knee to 90 degrees, and I guess his toes can tilt up and back. And he stands all right. It's an okay figure. I wish that the shoulders weren't hindered the way they are. I wish that the head moved more freely. I said for Lockdown it was a 7. For this guy it's a 7. Overall, Lockdown was a 7.75. This guy's about the same. It's not a stand-up, but it's not bad. And about the only real complaints that I could levy against it is that in robot mode we have a couple of, I'm not even going to say articulation limits so much. Well, we're doing the shoulders, but the head isn't so much a limit as there's just junk around the neck collar that I think it gets caught up on. The paint, well, that's your preference. And the conversion, really it's just, everything is all right with it, other than trying to kind of get the arms up on the side of the vehicle and sort of flex the plastic a bit to get them in for vehicle mode and out for robot mode. I wish we didn't have to flex the plastic there and it just kind of slid into position more nicely. Outside of that, it's a pretty great figure. It's a solid entry in the Studio Series line. And here we are once again, and here he is back in his pretty fantastic vehicle mode. I like this. I like the detailing. I like the kind of highlights of the black and the kind of excess orange paint. He's covered in paint. It's great. If you liked Lockdown, you'll like this guy. If you didn't like Lockdown, I don't think you're going to like this guy. He's not going to change your mind. The face sculpt, if you can call it the face, is fantastic. No, this doesn't look like the Shadow Raider from the film, but kind of who cares? Because if you're anything like me, you didn't even remember that there were Shadow Raiders. I didn't. I like the orange too because it's not a color that we always see, even if it is inaccurate. So what, man? It looks cool. But at the end of the day, here's what I honestly think. I think that the intention was to somehow incorporate that masked face into the Lockdown figure. And after that run was done and Lockdown was sent out, somebody at the factory somewhere said, "Hey, we have a bunch of these masked faces now. What are we supposed to do with them? Because we forgot to put them in the boxes to go sent out with Lockdown." And then somebody else said, "Hey, I know what we could do. We got a bunch of extra Lockdown molds left. Let's just use that and put them out with the battle mask." And then somebody else at the boardroom table said, "Yeah, but if we do that now, people are going to be like, oh yeah, you just changed the head and put Lockdown out again. Wow, that was a cheap ploy to get more sales." So somebody said, "Hey, let's paint it orange, and then it can be a totally different character, And if we put this masked face, like faceless face on it, we could say that it's the Shadow Raider. And somebody was like, okay, that's pretty cool. But why orange? And somebody said, well, because we got a bunch of orange paint that was accidentally ordered in. It was accident. And then somebody else said, oh, you mean like happened when we used Allspark blue on everything? Yeah, and then the same guy says, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened. We have an excess of orange, just like we used to have with Allspark blue. And then they said, okay, so we're going to use orange here on this, and we're going to put that head on, we're going to put it out, and we're going to call it the Shadow Raider, even though it's inaccurate, because nobody cares, because nobody remembers this guy. And I really think that's the story of how this guy came into being. Is he good? Is he not good? He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's not a standout, but he's as good as anything else in the Studio Series line. Even if the transformation is kind of a beer at times. Still, both the robot mode and this mode are pretty fantastic. Anyway, let me know what you think about the Shadow Raider. Or Lockdown for that matter. Or if you changed out Lockdown's head for this head. Could have. Again, thanks for dropping by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. Please hit that subscribe button and help me out. And I very much look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit right here inside the videos.